Does anyone expect this movie to be good? I didn't expect this movie to be good. The moment the team said, you know who's the best person to capture our cool and rough and mature looking individual? A guy who looks like a kid. Tom Holland as Peter Parker is great. He still acts like a kid, but that's what Peter Parker is. He's just a kid, and even throughout No Way Home, he still acts like a kid. Nathan Drake is an adult, not a kid. Even if the filmmaker is aiming for a younger Nathan Drake, he still looks really off, even if he's based on the third or the fourth game. So I don't have very high expectations of this movie. I expected this movie to suck, and boy was I in for a surprise. Oh boy. Uncharted is the story of Tom Holland. Not Nathan Drake, Tom Holland. He's not Nathan Drake in this movie. He's Tom Holland, and I refuse to call him Nathan Drake. In this movie, Tom Holland is a bartender and a thief, and he's recruited by Mark Wahlberg. No, he's not Sully in this movie. He's Mark Wahlberg. He recruits him to find some ancient treasure that's being buried by a bunch of pirates in the ancient times. Yada yada yada. Typical treasure hunting movie exposition excuse plot stuff. Yeah, so what was the surprise that I was talking about? Well, I was surprised that this movie didn't put me to sleep. I was tempted, mind you, but I prevailed to push myself through this mess of a journey. I can tell you for a fact that one guy on the theater that I went to is having a really good time thinking about a much better movie in his sleep. He has so much of a good time that he literally snore throughout a good portion of the movie, to the point where his snoring is genuinely distracting. I suppose you can say that his snoring is one of the few factors in why I managed to stay awake watching this movie. I'm sure those who had to share rooms or beds with people who snore can relate. And to be fair to whomever that theater attendant is, his reaction to this movie is 100% understandable because this movie is pure garbage. I can't even pronounce garbage. I can't even pronounce it properly. It's about as garbage as I expected. It's not the so bad it's good kind of garbage. They're definitely cringe kind of bad, but at least cringe bad elicits some form of emotion. This movie is the bad kind of garbage. The kind where the emotion stays flat throughout the movie, with no sorts of sparkle. Nothing fun to jolt you, nothing cringy to piss you off. Absolutely no jolt. This movie is a flat line of a journey, straight from one point to the other, having no emotions. As I alluded to previously, this movie stars characters that claim to be based on the video game characters from the Uncharted series, but as someone who has played the games, I seriously beg to differ. Whoever they asked to play the respective video game characters absolutely do not fit the roles that they are given, and whoever wrote the script of the movie absolutely have not played the games that the characters star in. They do not fit character-wise, they do not fit look-wise, they just do not fit. If the movie is trying to sell to the fans of the games that these are supposed to be the same video game characters, this movie did not sell me at all. Let's put aside the characters' looks for a second because they clearly do not match, and talk about the characterization. I mean, I can tolerate the characters not looking like their video game counterpart as long as the relationships and dynamics between the characters are properly maintained. There are some exceptions to that rule though. Unfortunately, this movie screwed this up as well. I don't recall Victor Sullivan to be an untrustworthy character, nor is he a character who needs to gain Nathan Drake's trust. Maybe in the first game where he sort of had a face heel turn, but even then, he also had a heel face turn later on. Even in Uncharted 3, where the game explores Drake's past where he first met Sully, Sully is an individual with honor who would risk his own life just for Nate. So what's the point of turning him into some untrustworthy backstabbing thief? All of his likability and mannerisms gone. And of course, there's Nathan Drake. Tom Holland is horrendously miscast in this role, and make no mistake, he's not playing younger Nathan Drake. This is supposed to be an older Nathan Drake. I know this because there's a segment in the movie that flashes back to where Nathan Drake is young, and they had an entirely different actor who played a younger Nathan Drake. I swear to you, the actor who played the younger Nathan Drake in the flashback looks no younger, if not much older, than the actor who played the older one. And not to mention, a lot more convincing. Tom Holland, you're good as Peter Parker. I love No Way Home, but you're not Nathan Drake. Sorry, I'm just not buying it at all. Are there any good things about this movie? Actually, Yes, 90% of this movie is a flat line. No emotion, no sparkle, nothing. Then there's the 10% of the movie at the very end, where there are lots and lots more action scenes and set pieces. Those moments at the very end of the movie are the closest things to the Uncharted series that this movie can offer. And to be honest, the set pieces on the very end are actually very cool. The plane segment in the movie is pretty cool. Even if it's straight from the third game, there's a lot of tension and action, and the sense that the enemies are risking their lives way too much just to trying to kill the protagonist rather than prioritizing their own personal safety, which makes no sense, but it's something that also happens in the games, where the enemies as well keep on doing the dumbest of things just to kill Nathan Drake, even though their personal safety is at even greater risk. The final segment in the movie is where two cargo helicopters lift up two of the pirate ships away, and the characters are still on the top of that ship. Swashbuckling action in a flying ship where characters beat each other, shoot each other, swing from one place to the ship to another, and then get hit and thrown off to the sea. This is cool. If you can't give me good characters, at least give me some good action. And the good actions only happen at the very last parts of the movie. Tom Holland finally grabs a gun and tries to shoot people in this movie at the very last parts of the movie. This is one of the few moments in the movie where he would actually shoot and kill people. Show more of this, please. The video games, even the first one, has Nathan Drake's body count skyrockets to the roof. So after all of that boredom, after all of the forced expositions and poor character development, the last few moments of the movie is a genuine breath of fresh air. The rest of the movie is garbage though, and I do not recommend watching this movie, not even for the Nolan North cameo. Yes, there's a cameo from Nolan North in this movie. I spoil it to you because I don't want you to see this movie. In conclusion, this movie is garbage. Not the so bad it's good kind of garbage, the boring kind of garbage. It's one of those installments of movies based on video games that just isn't that good, which is like 90% of them, unfortunately. The characters are off, the story is off. The only good thing about this movie are these segments that you might as well just wait for a couple of years until you see them on YouTube. Otherwise, please, skip this movie. That's all for the video today. If you like it, you can go ahead and click like button and subscribe for more. If you wish, you can donate to me through the links down below. And thanks for watching.